welcome to another Solihull podcast. On this podcast, we're going to chat through some of Solihull's top news stories this week and also some of the fun things to do and see in town this week as well. My name is Claire Bullivant from the Solihull Observer, and I'm here at the Solihull BID today with my co-host, CEO of the BID itself, Melanie Palmer.
Hello.
Hello. It's just you and me today chatting through some of the news stories this week, Mel. And first of all, every week we do seem to get new listeners. So perhaps this is an opportunity to just explain what the BID is all about again, as quite a few of our stories this week are all about things that you yourself are doing for us, for this great town. So,
thank you, Claire.
What exactly do you do?
Yeah. Well, the BID it stands for Business Improvement District. And I think because we work so closely with businesses, sometimes the public are kind of missed out of the comms on that. So they do say, what is a BID? We get this asked every day. And so Business Improvement District, we're a not-for-profit business-funded company. And we're here to do what it says on the tin slightly, in that we're here to improve the business area and the district of Solihull Town Centre. It's a designated area, almost moated. The town centre is like moated by the businesses around the edge of the town. We have around 500 businesses that we look after, and they all pay into the scheme. BIDs have a 5-year tenure. So they can kick us out if we're rubbish.
And you're up for renewal again,
yes,
aren't
we're
you?
Up for renewal, yeah. So we have a 5-year tenure. We've been here for 9 years. So we got through a second tenure 4 years ago. And we're coming up for renewal in October. So it's down to the businesses again to say, hey, you're doing a great job and we want to carry on paying the funding for this. Or we don't think you're doing a good job and we'd like you to leave. The big misconception is it's not between us and another BID. It's actually, do you want a BID or not want a BID?
How can they not want you? You guys are just doing so many amazing things. Yeah. Starting off, actually, on your column this week, page 12 of the Solihull Observer,
Thank you, yeah.
All about the homeless problem at the moment we're facing in Solihull. And you guys seem to be tackling it straight on. Maybe you could explain a little bit what you're doing about that.
Sure, yeah. This is what BIDs do really well. So this is a good example of what BIDs all across the country. There's around 350 BIDs in the UK at the moment.
Oh, wow, I didn't realise there were so many.
Yeah. It is actually an idea that migrated across from New Zealand into America and then over to here 15 years ago. So that's its origins. But this is what we do really well, is that we because we're business funded, there's a level of autonomy for us to be able to see a problem, chat to our businesses about it, get the business response on it, and act. So it's the speed of how we can deliver our projects, which gives us that little edge, I think, against maybe other organisations. Saying that, obviously, we know we have to work in partnership with the council, with the police, and all the intervention teams.
And that can't always be easy.
It's not, because we, as I've just said, we work at this pace. We work at a business pace. We move with businesses, and often you'll find with councils and other organisations,
things can take a while. Yeah,
they are constrained. You know, it isn't their fault, but they are constrained by all the bureaucracy that goes with the role. So we carry on and we keep banging the drum, and I'm sure I'll become incredibly annoying to some people, but we do end up getting the job done. And so this is what's been happening with the enforcement officers and the column about spare some change. It's because we've seen a real transformation in the high street of people coming in a position to beg, or coming in asking our lovely visitors to the town centre for spare change or for food, when we do know that in fact the majority of these people aren't homeless. They're not rough sleepers. They are actually coming in to either fund, unfortunately, a habit or substance misuse, or just because they want to get some money. There are people there that may be on benefits, they're living in a flat or a house, but they're coming in to sort of add to their income by begging.
I'm not saying this of Solihull, but there was a documentary recently in TV, I think in London somewhere, and the beggars were, collecting money all day, and some of them were making nearly £1,000 a day, and then going around the corner and jumping in their BMW and going and home, and it's just something needs to be done, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think there's a real. It's a really sticky problem because whichever way you look at it, there's the real moral issue of what's happened to these people? What has caused them to be in a position to be begging or rough sleeping? Obviously, it's always going to be a really difficult, tangled story that they may have. Their
and
backstory.
Some are really legit,
Yes,
obviously.
Yeah, but the one thing I do know for sure is that in Solihull, there is no need, in Solihull Town Centre, categorically no need for somebody to be sleeping in rough in our town centre. And that's because the agencies that are through the council and the professionals and the interventionists, they can provide accommodation, they can provide food, they can provide clothing, they can provide the mental health support, they can provide all of the programmes to get people back into society and help them with addictions. Solihull is amazing for that, and that really sets us apart. I have to state that these are the professionals that I'm trying to assist with the things that we're doing as a BID. So there is absolutely no reason for anybody to be rough sleeping in Solihull Town Centre.
Wow, because I'm just looking at the figures here in your column. In 2017, you had 30 reports to you.
Correct.
2018, 60. And then to date, from this year in January, you've already had 630.
That's correct.
What has happened to create this huge influx? Is it that people think that it is an easy way of getting money, or is it, I don't know, is this really like politically incorrect to say, is it people from other countries coming to Britain? And I don't know, what is it?
I would say it's a combination of things. I think what we're finding is, and it is a difficult, content to talk about, but I think because people aren't stopped from doing something, because you are allowed to do it, it has a knock-on effect. So people have come and tested the water in Solihull. They've realised that people in Solihull are giving them up to £200 a day. And they're not being stopped. They can come in, they can bring in their belongings, they can bring in bedding. We've had tents, we've had a full-size mattress, cardboard houses, all of this being brought into the town centre and never being stopped or challenged. So you can imagine that the message on the street, and there is a fraternity of rough sleepers and people who do beg, and so they will be saying to people, well, you should try Solihull. Right. Because you will not be stopped from doing anything. And that message of Solihull being a soft touch has really exacerbated the problem. And the generosity. I would say that Solihull are so... All our visitors and guests to Solihull, they are just so generous.
I'm guilty. I often throw £1 in, and I just think I'm doing good. But you think there's better ways to give money. You suggest using this website called Change.
Yeah. So Mayor of the West Midlands, Andy Street, he set up a project called Change into Action. And so we wanted Solihull to sign up to this as well. So working in partnership with the council, we've pushed to make sure that we are part of that. So if anybody wants to go onto changeintoaction.org website, they will see all of the good stuff that Birmingham's doing, and now Solihull are joining that scheme as well. We've got some brilliant shops on the high street that have tins that people can put their spare change into. That's in Sporting Barbers and Specsavers, and then also in Touchwood. And in William Hill as well. So if people are really feeling they want to help, that's what they should be doing, because that money is helping the professionals get to those people. So
instead of the money going to people that might not necessarily need it, it's going to the organisations such as mental health and counselling and things like that.
And housing, and helping people back into work. And giving people training and giving people support, which is what they need. And obviously to give people help to come off any addiction that they're currently on, because sadly that does seem to be the overwhelming reason for people to be on the streets and begging. So, it's something that we're really keen to move on. We're doing lots of fundraising at the moment for it, but all in partnership, as I say, with the council, with Change into Action. So.
And busking, we have lots of lovely buskers on the high street. We can still keep giving money to them, right?
Buskers, yeah.
We do have some fantastic buskers on our high street. So,
definitely buskers. And big issue. That's all a legitimate, fabulous thing that people are doing. So, yes, please do support those people. But maybe just think twice before you do go to give somebody some money that's in a position to beg, or sort of showing you that they're potentially rough sleeping.
And you're also, you've got a couple of new faces on the high street.
Oh, we do.
Page 5 in this week's paper. some officers. So you really are taking on the policing of our high streets now, aren't you?
Well,
tell us about this.
So we just feel as though we've got our amazing town hosts. So we have 4 town hosts who are our business eyes and ears out and about. You'll see them, they're called the Purple People, affectionately known as, and they will be out and about, going into businesses, looking after businesses, checking everybody's okay, passing on any communications, keeping everybody as a tight community. They're absolutely brilliant. They're all first aid trained. They're all mental health first aiders. They're dementia friends aware, and they really do help with the visitor experience and also to help our businesses flourish. However, they're not employed to work to detect and deter and disrupt business crime. Mm-hmm. So we've brought in our 2 new superstars.
Jason and Liz.
Jason and Liz. Well, Jason seems to have a fan club.
Jason's very good looking, in fact. Yeah, I'm just looking at Jason. I'm in the photo. He looks almost American in the outfit and everything as well. Yeah. You can imagine him like breaking up a fight or something, can't you?
He is just so amazing, and Liz is too. And we've done lots of interviews, and we've worked with ESG. Gone through the organisation ESG to recruit. However, they just seem to be perfect. And Jason we've had lots of comments on Solihull updates. Mm-hmm. And so obviously lots of positive stuff there about Jason. But they have already managed to stop 2 big shoplifters with nearly £1,000 worth of stock, which has been returned to the stores. They've been able to help somebody with some domestic abuse on the high street. They've stopped 2 lots of gangs who were becoming a complete nuisance with bikes on the high street, and lots more stuff underneath. So they are kind of being like the policemen on our high streets, aren't they? Yes. Yeah. Yes, they are. They are. They don't have the powers of police. This is what we need to sort of understand. But also saying that, this is a good example of how it works in partnership. When somebody was deterred from taking some stock from a store, Jason deterred them, and he called the police, and he's had to detain that person until the police arrived, and then that person has been arrested and has gone on to have the correct punishment, if you will, for that. Because of course anyone can make a citizen's arrest, but it helps if you're like Jason, a big burly, looking like an officer or straight out of the American sort of army or something. But and Liz is amazing, and she looks incredible as well. She looks like she means business. She is great because she's a real talker. So she's able to say to people, if they are misbehaving and things like that, she can talk to them and say, this is the reasons why we're asking you to stop. She's great at diffusing any situations, and she's got lots of experience as well. She's got close protection accreditation too, so that they're just fabulous. And we've only had them here now for I think it's 12 days, and the amount of issues that they have managed to solve or diffuse or deter have just been super duper. They really are great, and I'm very, very proud of them. Brilliant. And of course, because there's big news as well at the moment about the police station, you can read it on page 4 of this week's paper. Solihull Police Station, it's going to remain open until a suitable alternative is found, but it's sad, isn't it, thinking that all these police stations and things are closing down all over the country, not just in Solihull, but, Boris has made these promises of putting 2,000 more police officers on the streets and things, but obviously that's going to take time to happen. Yeah. And it is important, isn't it, Mel, to have somewhere on the high street or close to the town centre where people can go in and report. Yeah. Or just have that sense of community. I think you're so right. And I think the main thing is, and the message that we get back from our businesses and from the general public with the town hosts or with the enforcement officers, is that they want to speak to somebody. They want to report something. They want to tell you that they're worried about a certain person that's come into their store or people they've seen on the high street. They want someone that they can speak to. And sadly, with the austerity measures and the government cuts, it's not the police's fault because they just haven't got the funding allocated to them to put a bobby back on the beat. So you will see increasingly, I think, moving into the future, unless Boris really does, we do see a difference. But I believe, even with the police officers he will allocate, it certainly won't be getting people back onto the beat to be community police officers. So I think you will see increasingly, and particularly through the bids across the country, almost a private policing force coming in. Because people want that person to speak to. They don't want to wait on a phone.
No, unless it's an emergency. You can be hanging on for ages, can't you?
Yeah. I mean, I have to say at this point, if it's fast response and 999, they are brilliant.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
emergencies are incredible.
Absolutely.
And we have just won an award or been voted to be one of the most incredible ambulance and, what's it called? Emergency. That's the word I'm looking for. In the country, we've just actually in this area received an outstanding rating. So that's all good
great,
news.
Yeah.
But it is the sort of day-to-day contact of just popping into the police station, even reporting things like you've lost a bike, or you often don't want to ring 999, do you? Or you might just be passing, or if you've got someone who needs a bit of help, or it's just they're so important, and it's such a shame. And they're only closing this police station because it's only being used 20% of the occupancy. So I'm thinking, why can't they just rent out the other floors or something?
I know, it's if there should be some mixed use and things like that. I know there'll be an awful lot of data protection and sensitivities there that they'll be concerned about, but it does make you wonder whether there could not be some sort of community space that they could use it for, or an alternative, as you say, because it's a shame, isn't it, to lose your central hub. Maybe they'll shrink it down.
Maybe. On to another story now. This is all about Morrisons, and the people of Shirley are grouping together, and they've got this petition going, trying to save one of their favourite stores, which is Morrisons. What do we feel about this?
Well, I think there were 4 stores, weren't there, that were earmarked for closure, and I must admit I was quite shocked when they said Shirley was one of them, and it's a bit close for home, if you will. But I do think that the people that have looked at the closures will have done a lot of homework on where to close. And sadly, because there's the different offers that are coming in and they're renovated, there's a huge Aldi's, I believe, opening opposite. It is a sign of the times. And whilst it's really sad, I'm not 100% sure what a petition can do. Maybe this has happened in the past, but I've not really ever known a huge closure like that to be affected by a petition. So I do feel sorry for Shirley, because they don't want to see anything that large in their business community close. We would be mortified if it was Solihull's store.
Part of Solihull BID, you don't have anything to do with the other areas like Knoll or Shirley?
No. We just literally, because we're funded by the businesses in the town centre and just the businesses in the town centre, everything we do needs to benefit them.
Right.
And it doesn't mean we work in a silo and just look inwards, though. We do obviously feel the impact of things that are happening around us. So it is really sad to see anything close in our nearest town, which is Shirley.
Well, if you do want to sign the petition, you never know, it might get to the big bosses up there at Morrisons HQ. You can sign the petition on change.org and just search for Morrisons in Shirley. And who knows, you might be able to just help them stay open, but who knows. Mel, you've been amazing. Is there anything that you guys just don't do, though, here in Solihull? I don't know how we coped before you were here.
I could do with you on my re-election campaign, couldn't I?
Do you want to send me out? Because I do, like every single week, and also the column that you write in our paper every other week, I just think you spin you keep so many plates in the air, and it's not just all the things that you do, it's the communication and the awards that you put on. And seriously, who did it all before you guys arrived?
I don't know. I think the beauty of what we do, and the same for all bids, I'm assuming, across the country, and lots that I know of that are absolutely brilliant, is because you recreate that village feel. Even if you're in a city, Leeds bid, for instance, they're still recreating that village feel. Know your business neighbour, know how to help your business neighbour, appreciate what you want changed, discuss, communicate, and the bid is there to support and help. And because I've said before, we are business funded, we have those funds allocated to us every year, guaranteed. So we're able to say, this is our plan and this is how we're going to change things. And that makes us quite unique and quite powerful to get things done. So, it is a great job to be in. It is a fabulous job because you do see the differences that you can make. So.
And you did say that you are up for re-election, as it were, soon.
Yes.
How can companies and businesses around here help you?
Businesses, all the businesses in the town centre will receive a notification of going to ballot, and that will be later in September. And then our ballot papers are released, and the ballot is run from the 1st of October to the 31st of October. So businesses in the town centre, if you're listening, look out for your ballot paper, and just hopefully, if you feel we're doing a great job, we hope that you're going to be voting yes for us. And anybody who wants to know more about the BID, whether you're a BID business, whether you're a general public, whatever, we're always pleased to speak to you. So do go onto our website, Solihull BID, and all our contact details are on there.
And also speak to the purple people.
People in purple.
People in purple, that's it.
Yes,
Find them on the high street and say hello. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much, Mel. You've been incredible. And really good luck. We'll keep everyone updated, obviously, in the Observer with how it's all going. And we love your column every other week. Hopefully it'll be weekly one day soon. But you've been incredible. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Bye.
For all the things to do and see this week, it's Claire Bullivant with this week's What's On Guide.
Hi there, this is Claire, and I'm back with a few ideas of things going on over the coming days in the Solihull area that you might like to check out. Starting on Saturday, the 31st of August, there's a high summer craft fair happening at Mill Square on the High Street and Mill Lane all day from 9 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. These craft fairs, you can pick up some amazing items locally and also from abroad, and they're organised really well by Skets, who always do a great job. If you ever want to showcase your own craft talents or need further information about the events, do check out their website, skets.co.uk. Also on Saturday, for all you art lovers out there, there's a J.J. Adams showcase and artist appearance happening at Eton Fine Art. This is a showcase of his upcoming Rule Britannia collection, and also the first 50 people through the doors at 1 p.m. will receive a special limited edition J.J. Adams mixtape. Sounds very retro, doesn't it? Do try and get yourself along and let me know what the mixtape is all about if you get one. That's 1 p.m. at Eton Fine Arts. And if you feel like doing something good this weekend, the Kingshurst Literary Litter Pickers are back at Kingshurst Library in Kingshurst, 10:30am until 12 noon there. In 3 months, these guys, along with the Smiths Wood Litter Pickers, they've cleared over 10 tons of rubbish. How amazing is that? Well done, guys. We really appreciate you. If you feel like you can help, do pop down. All the equipment is provided through Love Solihull, which is part of the Solihull Council. They're a great group of people, and that's 10:30 on Saturday at Kingshurst Library. Then on Saturday afternoon, it's the Glitter House Summer Sessions Day Party happening at the Beach House on the Warwick Road in Solihull. 3 p.m. start there, going all the way through the night until 11 p.m. Always great fun there, great bar, fantastic people. I love their events. There's also a beach party going down at Acamba on Tithe Barn Lane in Shirley. DJ Kurt Silver tells me he'll be playing classic soul, R&B, disco, retro, electro, reggae and many more from a spectacular decade. 6 p.m. until late there. There's also an Ollie Murs and Bruno Mars tribute night happening at the lake at Barston on Saturday. You get a 3-course meal, live entertainment, disco and a late bar. It's always super fun. Tickets are going quick for this one. Do get your tickets from the lake at barston.co.uk. And there's also a 60s, 70s and 80s party night going down at the Alton Tavern, Lode Lane in Solihull, on Saturday evening as well, featuring vinyl revival, all the classics from the best of glam to the best of wham. I like that line, best of glam to the best of wham. 9 p.m. start there. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. And remember, if you have an event going on, do let us know so we can let everyone know. Thanks again to Mel Palmer from Solihull BID for such a fantastic interview. Have a lovely week, and Mel and I will be back next week, and hopefully the full gang will be with us, including Ian Rogers from What's On Solihull and Jeff O'Brien from Solihull Radio. From me at the Solihull Observer, thanks for listening and have a great week.